This is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank, here on the Voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. It's 8:12, and our conversations are presented by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Of course, there was a little bit of a tragedy that we heard about a week or so ago with the drowning death of a young man who wandered away from his home, went missing for a few hours. Unfortunately, that did not turn out well. We've heard also in our news cycle this morning about a similar incident going on that happened in another county over the weekend. So there have been advocates who want to see a system put in place that would help get information out concerning missing children. Joining us in studio to talk about this further, Chris Zeisler and Kami Parke of what has been called the Lenny Alert System group here on Facebook, actually. And Chris and Kami, thank you very much for joining us this morning here on Indiana in the Morning.
Thank you for having us.
All right, Chris, we may get you a little bit closer to the mic. We'll see if you can scooch a little closer if you can. And we'll remind our listeners as well that you can watch this interview on Facebook as well, and we'll have it on our Facebook pages. If you are not able to watch the whole thing now, you can watch it later on as well. So thank you again. So Chris, we need to talk about the unfortunate circumstances, I think, that surround the creation of this group that wants to get the Lenny system out. Obviously, Lenny is the young child who passed away in White Township about a week or so ago because of an accidental drowning.
Yes.
Talk about it. Talk about how you got involved in this.
Well, I got involved when I saw the incident on Facebook. It was about 10 o'clock at night, and I saw that some folks had posted on Facebook about a child going missing. Mm-hmm. And it was just over the hill from where I live, so I thought I'd go see if I could help find him. And shortly after I got there, they had found him.
So you got there, but at least you were trying to get to the place where you could help out in that regards. And you had only heard about it through social media at that point.
Right.
So this system that you're thinking about, it would be you've described it, at least whenever we interviewed you for the White Township Supervisors meeting the other day, that this would be more like the Amber Alert system, but instead of it being for abducted children, this is for missing children, right?
Correct.
Talk about it. You've been going around. Actually, I'll talk to Kami right now about this. Kami, maybe you can talk to us a little bit as well about your involvement with this initiative.
Just as Chris said, we got there just a little bit too late. By the time we saw it on Facebook that Lenny had been missing, we were too late. And so we want to have this idea that, the Lenny Alert would be sent out there to the public sooner than seeing it on social media. Mm-hmm. So shortly after the police get the call or whatever the protocol is, then that text message would then come out to the community, and everybody could help get involved sooner so that maybe we don't have this tragedy. We are able to save the next one that, maybe goes missing.
Yeah.
This would give the community a little bit of background. The child is nonverbal. The child is autistic. He can't communicate with you the same way that a regular child would.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe something like saying the child is deaf and cannot hear you, yes. Or the child has a disability that cannot walk or swim or something along those lines.
Yes.
So this would go out, Chris, it sounds like, as kind of a EAS alert on radio and television and also on phones, right?
Right.
Talk about what you've been trying to do over the last few weeks.
Well, myself and Kami, we've met with local officials, we've met with state officials, we've met with both the local police here in town and the state police, and we're meeting with the district attorney tomorrow morning. Mm-hmm. And we met with the senator's office last week, Senator Pittman, and everybody has been nothing but helpful and on board the whole time.
So you've been getting a lot of great support then. I know that the White Township Supervisors wanted to draft a resolution saying that they were in full support of your efforts.
Yes.
So getting this support, how does that make you, both of you, feel?
That's terrific. It is great to see the community pour out such an outreach, such support, and I don't know why something like this hasn't been brought up in the past.
It does kind of seem like a little bit of a no-brainer if you think about it in that regard. But Kami, talk about it from your perspective. I mean, you're seeing the support coming in from the elected officials and the government.
I am. I've lived here my entire life. I know that this community is a great community, and just to have everybody support us really shows how caring our community really is, and that they all want to be helpful. They want to be there to, help save the next child.
Yeah.
So having their support means a tremendous amount to me. And I think that it probably hasn't been started necessarily in our town so quickly because we don't really have a lot of children that go missing. But if one child can be saved from this, then I think that means everything. Then all the work that we've done has been worth it.
It does sound like it would pay for the use of the system just to
Yes.
know that that at least one child has been saved on
Absolutely.
this. We're talking with Chris Zeisler and Kami Parke this morning about their support for a new alert system to be put out called the Lenny Alert, which would help find missing children. So I'm sure that the two of you have been learning a lot about what makes up the EAS systems and the alerts that go out for, say, the Amber Alerts. What have you been able to kind of take away from that and kind of put towards the use to try to create the Lenny Alert system?
All of those things are still being put into the works. As far as exactly how the Amber Alert system is sent out, at what point it's sent out, all of the inner workings of that is not as simple as just, this is what it is. So we're still learning the inner workings of all of that and having to get the police involved, to make sure that their protocols are met before anything can go on. And so it's a long process. It's not something that's going to be started overnight, but
Right.
we're definitely in the baby steps of getting this pushed through.
So, Chris, talk about the learning curve for this.
It's definitely a lot more than what you would think. There's a lot of folks that you need to talk to, a lot of things you need to do. But the support that we've received so far is outstanding.
That was my next question. Since you've received a lot of support from government officials, what's been the support like from the community? I know that you have your Facebook group for Lenny Alert. What's that? What's the membership like there?
Pretty good. I'm at about 350 members so far. Kami has one as well, and she's well into the thousands.
Wow.
I do believe.
I think there's about 1,200 people on the Lenny Alert that I started. And so, with the combination of the two, that's about 1,500 people in our small town.
That's pretty good numbers.
That's very good numbers.
And hopefully this can reach out to further and further. So let's get some details. Your groups are both called Lenny Alert, but Chris, you said that yours is spelled in all capital letters, right?
Right.
All right, and yours, Kami, is just Lenny Alert?
Yeah.
And you encourage people to join both groups?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Excellent. The more support, the better, I guess.
Yes.
Right.
All right. So are there any sort of fundraising efforts in the near future, maybe to try to get some funding to continue this work?
Possibly.
All right. And that's still in the early stages?
It's still in the early stages. All of this is still in the early stages. As soon as we get some more meetings set up and find out where we're at with the different officials with the state police, and after we've talked to Bob Manzi tomorrow, we'll go from there.
All right. So still a long ways to go as far as getting a lot of support. Have you been able to you said you've talked to some of the local officials. Have you been able to talk to other county officials like the EMA people and the county commissioners yet?
No, not yet.
But that's in the pipeline too?
Absolutely.
All right. I know that their meeting is coming up next week, the county commissioners. So we'll see about that, and maybe you'll be there for that. This is very important, and it's a very somber issue, but we're making sure that Lenny's legacy, I guess, is the fact that maybe the creation of this system, so that a child who does go missing does not have to suffer that same fate, that they can be found. And this is a really good thing, I think, that you're beginning to start into. So let's get into some details while we still have a few minutes left. Chris, how can people find you on Facebook once again?
You can find me at Chris House Zeisler or at Lenny Alert, all capital letters.
All right, and Kami, just Lenny Alert on your end as well.
Yeah.
And they can find you on Facebook as well.
Under Kami Parke.
All right, excellent. That's spelled Parke for our listeners,
Yes.
and for those people on Facebook as well. And you too, feel free to share the video on your Facebook pages as well to get the word out further.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Chris Zeisler and Kami Parke, for being with us here on Indiana in the Morning. It's a difficult topic to talk about, yes, but it is something that I think you two are doing that is going to have an impact down the road. Again, thank you both very much for joining us.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
having us.
All right, Chris Zeisler, Kami Parke with the Lenny Alerts on Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank on the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160.